Here's the question. I would like to know more about fire safety in HMOs, i.e., what should I make sure my architect is including in the construction drawings? In my case, a 7-bed HMO over 3 floors plus cellar and or slash utility room. And can I do the fire risk assessment myself? Or should I get a specialist to do it? No, the fire risk assessment is actually done by, I don't know, is it a company? I don't know if it's just a company, but it's definitely like a certification that you need to get done, just like your electrics and your plumbing and all of that good stuff that needs to be signed off. You know, the architect drawings really are to make sure that you got the correct room sizes, you know, and the sizes for the bedrooms and the communal. So you got to remember to get your builders, your builders, when they're quoting, to give you a quote for a fully licensable HMO. Yeah, absolutely. You know, so here's a couple of scenarios. One scenario is that you're talking and dealing with a builder that has done recently a HMO build. Is that the case that you are? They've done it? Okay, great. Yeah, so just make sure that that is in the agreement. Yeah, it's in the agreement that all, you know, however you want to word it, all final detail will include a fully licensable HMO. Yeah. On the other hand, for anyone also that might be in this situation who's dealing with maybe a build, because you know, on our first HMO, funnily enough, the builder had not done a HMO before. Yeah, so we had to be very specific with what we wanted, and we actually agreed that. We said, look, no matter what happens, final agreement of finalization, meaning project is complete, will mean that it is signed off and we get the license. You know, so that was like a, you know, like a part of the deal. You know, so I believe, I can't, you know, this is in like 2018, beginning of, it's the end of 2017. So I don't remember exactly, but I think we held so much money back until we got the license. Yeah, just because that was a part of the deal. But if you've got someone who's doing it already anyway, or has previous experience that, I need to have my license done to standard or my HMO done to the licensing standard, then they're going to know what's involved anyway. So if, like we always say, if you're going to get someone to quote on a specification, get clear on that spec so you can get more than one quote. Yeah, get more than one quote, but on the same spec, not based on a conversation, because things can get all messy and people quoting on different things, and then people wonder why is there 50 grand difference in the price. Yeah, and it's because the price and totally different things. You know, I don't know if you guys have noticed yet, those that are doing a few projects, that the builders, they're not always people that are like have attention to detail. You know, they look at what they're doing this week, you know, and that's sometimes as far as they go. So here's the question. We have a deal where the house is being split by the previous owners into 2 flats. This being turned into total of a 9-bed HMO. Good job. However, the house doesn't have a LDC. Yeah, okay, and obtaining one for the council is providing difficult. How do we proceed, or has anyone been in a situation where you need to get this as part of a deal? Okay, so first of all, do you know that that's what was obtained rather than planning then? Really what you got to do is ask who, like nail down who in the council requires this information. Nail down who's the person that says, once I'm satisfied with that information, I can make my decision. Now ask, what is it exactly do you need? And when they tell you that, you got to say, where do I get that from then? Because what you need to do is get in an agreement, like you're a team, like, okay, this is what you need. Okay, so how am I going to get this? And you work together. You've got to work together. Don't just hear information from someone and then just go off on your own trying to figure it out. Because they're saying, because there's a similar question, which is a similar principle, principle is going to apply. Work together, stay in communication. What is it exactly you need? Oh, I need this certificate. Okay, great. So where am I going to get that from? Because this is the situation. Where am I going to get that from? Okay, if you can't tell me, what else do you need? Because it looks like this thing don't exist or it's nowhere to be seen. So what else do you need for me to be able to do that? And just stay in communication and just communicate like a partnership. Like you're coming to a mutual conclusion yourself. Does that make sense? That's really what you got, because we could come up with 20 different scenarios here, but at the end of the day, it's whoever's making that decision, nail down and ask very direct questions like, let's say, I provide this. Is it you who looks at this and then makes that decision for us to be able to move? Is it you, or is there anybody else involved? Yeah. So get all that information out first. Oh, well, it's this person and that person. I say, well, what is it that they need to, well, can you speak to them? Can you speak to them and ask them what it is that they'll need to see? And like really just hammer home, this is what it is. You know, if you're communicating correctly and you can get hold of those people over 2 or 3 days, you know, councils being councils, situation being a situation, you should be all right by then. Because I'm telling you, this is the skill. This is the main skill that when you can like bolt on and grab information. This is in real life sales training in the real life cycle under the section called understand. Yeah, this is how do I, I'm like a detective. You know, I want to figure everything out and I want them to tell me everything that I require. Then I'm going to nail it down to say, once I do this, I want an agreement. Once I do this and I get that, you may be able to make your decision. And if I prove, are we going to get the change of views? And like, just nail it down and say, oh yeah, absolutely. Until you know exactly what you need to do and you've come up with the agreement together. So it's like their idea as well of how it's going to happen. Does it make sense? But if you can speed it up by nailing it down and saying, this is the situation. And if now you're saying that, you know, that's like, think about it. If you already have an idea that something might not be available because of the current situation, then say, look, okay, I'm going to go do that, but this is the situation. Let's say I don't have that or it doesn't exist. What else am I able to provide you that's going to enable you to make this decision? Yeah, sometimes it's a little bit of awkwardness because they just want to palm you off. And there's a little bit of awkwardness to get to it. You know, like, I'll exaggerate a little bit. You know, the awkwardness where someone's like, yeah, okay then, okay, yeah. And they're trying to like put the phone down and you're like, whoa, hold on a second. Wait. You know, yeah, you just got to burn through that. This is the real deal. No one teaches you this stuff. They're going to tell you some technical answer, yeah, and then say, yeah, off you go. You know, it's technical is a small part of it. The game here is to burn through the awkwardness that may be created from the situation because they don't know. So they get all awkward because they don't know. Nobody ever asks these questions. They just say, yeah, whatever you say, council, bye. You know, and then mess about for 6 months. So I'm saying rather than keep waiting, just get an agreement and say, right, stage 1 is this. If I get that, boom, thank you. But if not, what else? What else? Because let's say that don't exist or it's not obtainable. What else can happen for us to come to this agreement? Hey, because you don't want this empty home, do you? Do you want this? Do you need to fill homes? Do you need to get? Yeah, you do, council. Absolutely, council. So let's work together and get this done. So what can we do to speed this up? Yeah, what can I get? Oh yeah, that seems like I can get that. Okay, let me go ahead and do that. Once I, and then don't just go. They say once I do that, this is going to enable you to make your decision. Is that true? Superb. I'm going to get that across to you as soon as possible, and you're going to be able to let me know. Yeah, just keep confirming, confirm, agree. People forget what they've said in the same conversation, let alone, you know, they put the phone down and speak to 10 other people. Anyway, what we're saying, team, is don't let yourself be shut down. And power team are essential, but you are the leader. Yeah, and this is why PWT is so important, because you practice on leading leaders. Yeah, you're leading leaders because these are leaders in their own field. Adam's a leader in his own company. You know, this guy's a leader in the council. Yeah, so it's about how you lead leaders. So you got to stay in the game, and like Trisha says, get close to it still. You don't have to know all the nitty-gritty detail, but you need to know enough to be like, well, yeah, tell me about that. Yeah, tell me about these applications. I've just had 2 people that had a 14 and an 11 bed go through. So what's this over 7-bed thing? Can you explain that to me? And you're just educating. You get an education. Can everybody see that that's what you're doing?